Okay, now, what I wanted to say, as soon as you're outside of the protected area...
Yeah, I got the question.
You're a hero, you're a hero if you want to be or not, right?
Well, there's only a couple of places that sort of gets to be superficially a problem, and that's sort of Los Angeles and not so much New York, and London is quite difficult to sort of move around, and during the daytime.
Well, that power that gives you, isn't that frightening to you?
I don't know. As I say, I haven't been in that environment for about a year and a half, 2 years. So it doesn't affect me. I live in a very different way. I mean, I move this year. I've moved on from Japan through Hong Kong, Thailand, back to Germany, up to Switzerland.
You live in one specific place?
No, I have nowhere.
Right. Okay. Anything special to say about the number Heroes for the rest? I mean, is it a hero for a day?
It's a very pretty love song.
Okay. That's interview number 1. Okay.
Stop het nu gezet of zo?
Ja, overzichtelijker, hè?
He said Heroes is a pretty love song.
Yeah.
It says, we could be a hero for one day.
Yes.
We could be heroes for one.
Yeah.
Do you want people to feel like that just for one day? You said you don't feel yourself a hero.
No.
People make you a hero.
No, they don't.
For them.
No, they don't.
What
They don't make me a hero. I know I'm not a hero.
What is the power of still going on?
It isn't.
Doing it. Doing...
No.
Making records, selling.
Yeah. That's work.
Just work.
Yeah. Work and a way of life for me.
In an interview a long time ago, you said, I could be a Hitler in England. I could make this country very big if I want to.
I don't think I said I would make this country very big.
Let me see what you said for a second. I could have been a hero. I could make this country a great country.
Oh, I don't know where you read that, but that's not true.
Rolling Stone interview.
No, but that's not true.
It's a translation.
I have the feeling that, I mean, we get all the press information about you, that's all we know when we start, right? I have the feeling you changed. You're just a hard-working, there's not much more of the image building around.
No, at the moment, none at all.
No.
No, I'm...
So we're talking to David Bowie instead of talking to the people, the roles you play.
Characters, yeah. Right. Well, when I had the characters... Oh, can I take this off?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, no, I have to lose that then. Doesn't matter.
After the first row.
I'll just take off one half. Right. I was a character when I performed the other albums.
Right.
Aladdin Sane, Ziggy Stardust, stuff like that. And I carried the character through into interviews, into newspapers, on stage, off stage. Whenever there was media around, I had to keep those characters concrete because it was important, because the fabric of my work is using my body, my personality, as well as my songs and stage performance. The idea was to, rather like a canvas. But now I've finished with those particular situations, the hardware of science fiction in the beginning, the rockets and the moon and the aliens and whatever. And then there was the period where I was relating to technology upon society, as in the Diamond Dogs, through to just before the Station to Station period, ending up with a Plastic Soul character for young Americans. Then the Station to Station was a plea to get back to Europe. I mean, I had it in America, I was going crazy. So I came back to Europe and decided that I needed to discover for myself a new form of musical language before I continued writing anymore. So the last 2 albums, Low and Heroes, aren't so much situations, but a process of discovery, searching for a new language, artistic language, so that I can go further.
Right.
And that's what Eno and myself and Fripp have been up to, really.
Okay. That's the end of the roll. You can take off your...
I can take it off completely now, can't I? En masse? No. It's impossible to care en masse. But the contact I have with a few that get to see me is very good. And I take them as people, as individuals.
I remember the one lyric, all the nobody people, all the somebody people.
Yes.
I need them.
Yes. Yes. Well, that character definitely did, because the world was exploding.
So that was the character, that wasn't...
That was definitely a character, that was Ziggy Stardust.
Right.
And he was the archetype, needing people, rock star.
Right. Maybe this is the past for you, but I'd like to talk about your experiences in show business, about...
Well, there was this girl, yeah, carry on. What experiences were you?
Concerts for 10,000 people, record companies running behind you, hype, images.
You're determined to put me in this sort of
No, you've been in
dynamic, metropolitan...
You've been in there, right?
Yes, I have been in there, and I tell you, it's sticky stuff. It's like the trenches. It's like going out on some kind of maneuver, actually, the whole process. It's this sort of, in a rock thing on a tour, there's sergeant majors, and then there's corporals, and everybody says, right, pack, move on, and you set up tents, but they're called Hiltons and, holiday inns. I hate the process. I think it's loathsome.
It was originally meant to be informal rock and roll, and then it turns into a big company kind of thing.
Enormous arena, yeah, it can do that.
Mm-hmm. Same goes for the record industry. Is that?
I don't. Well, my dealings with all those people are on a very personal basis now. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't have any management.
But that's now.
In the past, I mean, I never knew what was going on. I was oblivious to everything that was happening because those responsibilities, David, have been taken away from you, David, so that you have the freedom to write, David.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I wrote, and they made money.
Now there's no management.
Now there's no management.
So who keeps the books?
Me and somebody else.
Right. Interviews.
Mm.
You do a lot of them?
No, this is the first time I've done this kind of interview for an album. And I must be quite honest, the reason I'm doing it is because I want to give the album every chance that it can get. Right. Because it is, I didn't know it was going to go gold in 3 days, or I wouldn't have bothered.
Right.
I'm being very honest. I mean, that's why I'm here, to do that. I didn't expect it to be received so enthusiastically.
Right.
I'm flabbergasted.
Now, new cities and new journalists and new questions and people trying to peep a little bit into...
Not new questions most of the time.
Right, okay. You have a new question for me?
Well, no, I sort of just react by trying to blow the interview. Right. And that often produces some further questions.
Right. But I was just wondering, but you obviously do this only once a year or something. I was just wondering if you didn't get real sick of interviews, cameras.
Well, it's the idea of becoming a machine. I mean, if one is asked during the course of a day the same question about 10 times, if it's 10 different people, one's very tempted to make up new answers. Because I get very bored very quickly, and I feel a bit like a parrot by about the 5th interview.
Right,
and something very sort of sterile and sort of rather mouldy by about the 10th interview.
Do people hit you with remarks you've made 10 years ago or 5 years ago?
Oh, quite often, yes. Yeah. Yes. But I used to do a dreadful thing in the past, which I've stopped doing now. I would read something that I never said in the paper and adopt that point of view to see what reaction it would get and see if we get a third reaction from that.
Right.
So I had a lot of fun sort of delving into other people's ideas of what I am and adopting their idea for a bit.
Sometimes it went a little bit out of hand, you know.
Oh, but of course, but I work on dangerous ground. I mean, that's why
when people start talking about you as being fascist and all
yes, I know. It's some atrocious things happen.
Yeah, but that's all nonsense. Let's say that.
I'm totally apolitical.
Right.
Absolutely. I have no. It's not my position for the kind of artist that I am, which is a person who tries to capture the rate of change. For me to adopt any given policy or stance politically, because my job is as an observer of what is happening. And any statements that I made in that direction were a general reaction and a theatrical observation of what I could see happening in England.
Right. And it hasn't happened yet, but...
No, it hasn't, thank God.
No, right.
But what do? You ridicule it. Is the first thing you do.
Right.
I was amazed that nobody had noticed that it was happening. And it seems to have come to much more attention since I said that.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, we were talking about power, and you say we were so hung up on the power.
No, that's not power. That's very social observation.
Yeah, well...
Don't mind me saying so.
No, that's not power, but...
Media has the power.
Right.
I have maybe the...
but that's the media always stick to you.
I have the observation... Oh, yes, well, that's their combination and their entanglement of what is and what isn't and what they would have be that provides the people with some fairly distorted informational viewpoints.
Well, just come back to this for 1 second.
Yeah.
I mean, you can deny it or not, but the thing that 100,000 kids are treating you as a hero, reading every line you say...
I don't think so, you see. I think that's a generalisation. A kid doesn't go out and live his life around me. He goes out and he might buy my records when they come out. He may adopt my hairstyle, but it does very much end there, you know. I mean, I've never seen with any rock idol kids that have been so totally intoxicated by the thing that they live out that thing as their myth. I think you're carrying it a bit far. It doesn't really work like that. And don't tell people it works like that, because it's not that way.
I want to hear that from you.
Well, you just heard it.
It just must be dazzling to see people direct their life towards what you do or something.
I don't think that's at all the case. I think the average rock listener gleans information from records and stage performances of an ethereal nature. One can't put one's finger on what that information is, but that's why people go to rock concerts. And I enjoy the process of giving and receiving information, which is what I find happens.
Now, one of the things you've talked about a lot is that people need a leader, right? And that goes for rock and roll also. People definitely searching for musicians that they can...
And the best leader they can possibly have is the one that looks back at them from the mirror.
Right.
So they have to understand that mirror very well, and then that person can lead them.
You think you can do that by relativating the whole thing, for instance?
I don't know. Look, mate, I'm not a psychiatrist.
That's a good ending. Yeah, no, okay.
You said people are not directing after you. I mean, but
yeah.
Do you think you have any might have a little influence on their thinking, because they listen to your records, went to your shows, and
the influence is only acceptable if it's taken by that person on his own initiative. No, not influence in the way that I believe that you mean. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do you mean insidious influence, a kind of a creeping influence that makes people unconsciously do things
just because
I seem to be saying that? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
No, because there is far too many images for people to be that directly influenced by one given thing. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm trying to do with the new music, is find a new language which doesn't have that kind of image influence.
Do you think people will understand that language that you are?
It doesn't. Well, I think they do, yes. Because I think people, especially in a city context, think in fragments, opposed to a country person who thinks far more in a linear form. I mean, all this is very old hat, sort of beatnik philosophy, but it's they think far more in linear form, sentences, entire sentence. A farmer will think, I see a cow in the field, it gives me milk. We're milk crazy, it gives me milk. But a city person will see a milk advert in the street and be thinking, milk, what are we gonna have for dinner? Boy getting knocked down by a bus, crashed against wall, that kind of. So he's thinking in terms of maybe 1,000 different images at any given time. He doesn't know he's thinking any differently to the way his forefathers thought. And the language that Brian and I are sort of producing is a language that can relate to that way of thinking.
Final question for the film.
Yeah.
Isn't it strange that in a few years' time you will be performing for audiences that are about the age of your own kid, for instance?
Is that what I'm going to be doing? Good Lord.
That's what you're going to be doing. I mean, the kids that gave you the book yesterday who go to your show are about 7, 8 years old.
That was extraordinary as well. I've never seen anybody that young before come to a show, or 7 or 8 is strange.
Will you ever play in Las Vegas?
Oh, Lord. Oh, Las Vegas. No, I can't see that coming.